What's up, Rob? Thanks so much for coming on this call. It's been great working with you for the past 6 or so months, helping you on LinkedIn build up your audience, build up content, and then create some conversations for you that could lead to sales and some qualified booked calls and some good leads in your world as a coach. So let's just kick off with kind of asking, what's your business? What do you do? For those just hearing about Rob, seeing you on LinkedIn, happy to give you the floor of kind of sharing what you do.
Yeah, totally. Thanks for having me, Owen. So I'm Rob Kavarowski. I'm a world-renowned expert in toxic leadership, executive coach, TEDx speaker, and now an author or upcoming author of the book Antidote for an Asshole Boss. So check that out. It's coming soon.
Love it. Can't wait for that. I know that's been in the works. And we know from your story and plenty of other people's stories that book's going to help a lot of people. So tell me about kind of what your situation was before we started working together. How were you growing your audience? How were you getting eyeballs on your work? How were you get earning clients? What was kind of the process before we took a little bit of a stronger stance and strategy when it came to LinkedIn?
Totally. So I was posting on LinkedIn a few times a week. I was having my marketing department do that. It was very much not super structured, not with too much of a plan. Um, and it was building slowly, but not really like great results. Um, yeah, in terms of clients, most of it was by referral, and my content wasn't really being seen. The big reason why I came to you, Owen, as you know, was my TEDx talk was coming out in a couple months. And then I was also setting up for where I am today, where I'm pitching to publishers for my book. And so I wanted to build that platform in order to, yeah, get eyes on both of those pieces of content.
Awesome. I love it. And the work we've done for you, what can you kind of share of like results or good wins we were able to produce for you? Um, yeah, any outcomes from the 6 months of us working together from, the progress we made since that kind of what you described before we got together.
Totally. Like, I mean, the LinkedIn growth was phenomenal. I think I added somewhere in like 5,000 follower range. So it went from like, if I can remember right, around 22,000 to now I'm around 27,000, which was phenomenal. Um, like a lot of the posts that we did together or that like we worked on together did really well. Some of them with like 20,000 impressions. Um, so it's been really good on that end. And then, yeah, I mean, a lot of people were following me, adding me, commenting on the post. Like the engagement was really good compared to, yeah, what we usually get.
Awesome. And based on results, moving forward 6 to 12 months, where do you kind of see your brand on LinkedIn and your business kind of going, like now knowing a little bit of our strategy or our process and how you can go keep that going on your own, um, going into, the rest of the year, 2024, and then going into 2025.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I didn't realize, but I get now is the strategy. I think a lot of what I was doing before was sort of like, hey, it's Monday, this is in my mind.
Yeah.
And then like I host a podcast and it was like, okay, let's just post something from the podcast and then we'll just kind of like get that going. And like that did work in like 2017. Like I built a big audience in the engineering space in like 2017, 2018 by just posting. I posted twice a day, 7 days a week. Of course, I had more time because I was working a corporate job, but like that worked. And it just doesn't cut it anymore. And you see that with like there's so many folks out there posting great content. And so your content needs to be strategic and aligned with your message, and it all kind of has to follow through with what do you want people to know you as and what's your brand.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, it's definitely one thing where it's like, okay, we're on LinkedIn, an idea comes up, a life event comes up, I want to post about it. But to have the strategy or even, you could attest this if you like, but like the structure of a post too, like the flow of it, the
Absolutely.
hook, the white space, all that good stuff can go a long way as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. that's like, I mean, that's something I didn't know. I mean, I saw, but I didn't really know about. Like, it was funny. So every time I used to see folks post like those Twitter graphic style things,
Yeah.
and I was always like, why would you just like take a screenshot of your Twitter? Like, that's so dumb. And then like those performed extremely well.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like, I mean, for folks out there, it's like literally like one sentence of something that you're saying, and it looks like it's from Twitter. And of course, there's verbiage at the top, but it's like people really like those posts and engaged a lot with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that one in particular, at the time of people watching this, depends on if that's still a running trend, but I think it's because it's a scroll stopper, which is just a good thing to know, a principle when it comes to social media content in general. Like you're trying to obviously stop someone's finger from scrolling. So to have like a predominant white screen, which is LinkedIn's interface, to then have that black screen, it kind of gets you to stop in your tracks and want to read. Um, but yeah, just funny how like different platforms can almost complement one another in that sense. You alluded to this a bit kind of when you're in your 9 to 5 or corporate gig with more time. We work or try to work with busy business owners who are just focused on client results. What can you kind of say to that point of like the busy business owner who sees the value in building out content and their brand, doesn't have the time? How beneficial was that for you of like how we came in to just have all that handled for you and just have you approve the content?
Totally. Yeah. Working with you, like I had worked with a couple folks before, or a couple of different agencies before, and you were so much more streamlined and less stressful. Like I worked with one before, and it was like they're messaging me on Sunday night going, I need this, like I need you to write this. And I was like, I thought I was paying you to write it for me. Um, and it was, yeah, it was just really stressful. And it's like I'm trying to like coach folks. I'm trying to run programs, trying to create like content that I'm selling to people and like do, all these other things, like run a business. And then it's like, oh no, but I need you, like the marketing person going, I need you to do this for me. Yeah, working with you was so streamlined. Like if I had an idea, I would send you a voice note. You would turn it into something real that we could use. And then you would send me a Google Doc or like Canva files. And it would just be like, what do you think? And then I could, if I wanted to edit, I could put a couple notes. But yeah, it was very streamlined, really easy to work with, saved me a ton of time. And like, I didn't have the bandwidth to do it any other way.
Mhm. No, awesome. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's our goal, to have you focus on what you're great at, the client results, coaching, being a great mentor, but keeping that consistent presence of who you are. I love the anecdote that people get sometimes of like, Rob or Owen, you're everywhere. I don't know how you do it. Like, how do you create all this content? It's like, well, you either have a team to help you or you have a strategy where you're just kind of working a little bit in advance, which is crucial. Nonetheless, if you don't even have a team, just like content block, get ahead a week or 2 weeks, and you'll be in way better shape. But I appreciate that. Those are good notes. Anything kind of surprise you about working with us? Maybe something that you didn't expect positively, or whatever that may look like that you were kind of glad that it happened, or even didn't happen, perhaps. Anything of a surprise?
I think the engagement was a surprise. Um, like I found when I stopped posting about like engineering specific stuff, I didn't get almost any engagement at all. And then like working with you, um, yeah, the engagement, like the comments went up and like people were liking and commenting on the posts. And I think that, I mean, obviously that drives up in like the total numbers of it. But yeah, that was really, I mean, that was a great outcome.
Awesome. Love it. So, if someone's on the fence listening here, what could you kind of tell them if they wanted to get a personal brand going, build their audience, kind of pass off the content work and they were considering working with us or maybe any other agency? What would you kind of tell them?
Yeah, I would recommend Owen for a LinkedIn strategy growth. And it's because of the reasons we've talked about. Like I added 5,000 followers. The engagement of my post went way up. The strategy and the ease of working with him is like I haven't had anyone else that I've worked with that's been that easy. And yeah, it works.
Love it. Awesome. And then last question, just from a general standpoint, like how important do you see LinkedIn as if you're a business owner, like to be on there, to build your brand, to use it as a lead gen tool, even among or compared to other platforms, like how important do you see LinkedIn as a strategy for business owners?
Of course, it depends on who you sell to, right? And so some folks would say, like if you're trying to sell B2C to like a younger audience, maybe TikTok is your move. Of course, this is all going to change. So I don't know when you're watching this on potentially YouTube, but could be somewhere else, right? But it's like you really want to cater to your audience. And it's like for me as who's an executive coach, my executives are on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
And that's just what it is, right? And I think if you also want to sell B2B, I think LinkedIn is the place for you. And so that's what I would say is for folks out there who are selling B2B, or if your potential client is, you know, in their 30, millennial older, LinkedIn's the place, at least in 2024.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, nonetheless, know where your people are, know where your ICP is, ideal client persona. Um, for most people, I feel like they are on LinkedIn, but to your point, like the younger folks, probably not, especially if you're selling some widget, but whatever that may look like. But cool, Rob. Appreciate you coming on and sharing these notes, and it's been great working with you.